So Ubisoft recently unveiled an exciting game trailer that definitely serves as a sneak peek into the substantial PC hardware optimizations made for the highly anticipated release of Assassin's Creed Mirage. This revelation has definitely sent waves of excitement through the gamer community, particularly among PC enthusiasts, I of which am one of them. Now, one of the most notable aspects of this optimization effort is the comprehensive set of features that PC gamers can anticipate. These enhancements encompass a broad spectrum of visual and performance improvements. Now, first and foremost, players will be able to immerse themselves in a visually stunning gaming experience thanks to the game's support for HDR, which is high dynamic range, which brings an expanded color range and improved contrast, making it feel more vibrant and lifelike graphics. Moreover, Ubisoft has gone to great lengths to cater to the diverse setups that gamers have around the world. Whether you have a multi-monitor configuration or you're a fan of the cinematic experience offered by ultra-wide monitors, Mirage definitely has you covered. The game's compatibility with multi-monitor setups and ultra-wide monitors ensure that players can choose the setup that best suits their preferences and hardware. For those of you who seek to elevate your gaming setup even further, Ubisoft has partnered with MSI Mystic Light. Now, this integration allows gamers to synchronize in-game lighting effects with their MSI Mystic Light enabled hardware, creating a truly immersive and visually striking experience. Taking things up a notch, Mirage will leverage Intel XeSS upscaling technology. This technology enhances the game's visuals by using advanced upscaling techniques, resulting in sharper and more detailed graphics. It really is a testament to Ubisoft's commitment to pushing the boundaries of gaming visuals. However, it is important to note that some highly anticipated features like DLSS, which is Deep Learning Super Sampling, and FSR, Fidelity FX Super Resolution, won't be available when the game initially launches. This indicates that Ubisoft are dedicated to delivering a gaming experience with the cutting-edge technologies, but with them moving over to a more Intel-based partnership, it is a bit annoying that we won't be getting these at launch. But to ensure that Mirage runs smoothly and optimally on a variety of PC setups, Ubisoft has optimized the game for Arc GPUs and the Intel Core 13th Gen series processors. Now, the optimization on these hardware is great for people that have them, but it is a bit annoying for the rest of us on AMD and Nvidia GPUs that we're not getting this same kind of optimization. Now, the game will run very well on any sort of hardware, but I'm just disappointed that they decided to go the Arc GPUs instead of the most known AMD or Nvidia ones. Surprisingly though, when it comes to system requirements, Mirage sets the bar relatively low compared to other modern titles. To enjoy a console-like experience with a resolution of 1080p and 30 frames per second, your system should at least feature hardware such as an Intel Arc A380 6GB, an Nvidia GTX 1060 6GB, or Radeon RX 570 4GB. Now, while this might not cater to the preferences of all gamers, those looking for a smoother performance have the option to upgrade to hardware like the Arc A750, a GTX 1660 Ti, or Radeon RX 5600 XT, which can deliver a more satisfying 60 FPS gaming experience. Now, for players looking to step up their game to 1440p or 2160p, which is 4K, whilst also maintaining a smooth 60 FPS, the developers have recommended these setups, which are a Arc A770, RTX 2070, or an RX 5700 XT for 1440p, or if you want 4K gameplay, your best bets are GTX 3080 or an RX 900 XT. Interestingly though, there is no recommended specifications that mention the RTX 40 series or the Radeon RX 7000 series, leaving room for some intriguing possibilities in the future. But like we always do, we're going to dive in to the full specs right now. So if you want to play the game at 1080p on low presets at 30 FPS, you will need a CPU like the Intel Core i7 4790K or an AMD Ryzen 5 1600. For the GPU, they are suggesting an Intel Arc A380 6GB, Nvidia GeForce GTX 1060 6GB, or an AMD Radeon RX 570 4GB, a minimum of 8GB of RAM, Windows 10 or 11, and the storage, which will be the storage for all of the specifications, is 40GB. Now, if you want to play the game at 1080p on high presets at 60 FPS, they are suggesting players have an Intel Core i7 8700K and an AMD Ryzen 5 3600. The GPU they suggest is an Intel Arc A750 8GB, an Nvidia GeForce GTX 1660 Ti 6GB, and then an AMD Radeon RX 5600 XT 6GB. The RAM is 16GB, which will be the core throughout the rest of the spec. graphics, and of course Windows 10 11 and storage of 40 gigabytes. Now moving up, if you want to play at 1440p or 2K at high presets with that smooth 60 FPS, they are suggesting players using Intel Core i7-9700K and AMD Ryzen 7 3700X. For the GPU, they are suggesting an Intel Arc A770 8GB, an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 2070 8GB, and an AMD RX 5700 XT 8GB. Again, 16GB of RAM, Windows 10 or 11, and of course 40GB for the SSD. Note they are stating players use an SSD and not a standard hard drive. Just keep that in mind. And then if you want to play at 2160p or 4K on the Ultra preset at 60 FPS, they are suggesting that players have an Intel Core i5 11600K or an AMD Ryzen 5 5600X. For the GPU, they are suggesting a NVIDIA GeForce 3080 10GB or an AMD Radeon RX 6900 XT 16GB. Again, 16 gigs of RAM, Windows 10 or 11, and an SSD for 40GB. Now, one thing that stands out to me the most is that, yes, they're partnering with ARC, but as soon as you get into the 4K Ultra preset realm, you don't have them anymore. Now, I have had the chance to try out some ARC GPUs, and they are good. They're fast, and when paired with a 13th gen Intel processor, they work well together and really do give the player such an amazing experience, even better than some NVIDIA and AMD GPUs. Now, we all know AMD and Ryzen, when those CPUs and GPUs work together, you do get the best of both worlds. But I'm just glad that Ubisoft aren't really focusing on the ARC GPUs. Yes, they have a partnership, and yes, if you pair those together, you do get more options. But for people that don't have those new GPUs or can't afford like a £500 CPU, it's good the game will run on the minimum specs. Personally, I run a semi-basic gaming PC. You know, I could play games at 1440p, you know, 60 FPS, that's all good. But a year ago, I couldn't. I was on sometimes 720p, which is a bit embarrassing to say. But I'm glad they are catering to every form of gamer out there. Now, of course, what I've just mentioned are the minimum specs, so you don't necessarily need like a GeForce 3080 to play at 2K high or 1080p 60 FPS. You know, there is some leeway between each option, so don't think, oh, my GPU or processor is like one generation behind it, I can't play it. Of course you can, just maybe lower the graphical settings a bit. So now on to my giveaway. Now, if you watch my previous videos, you will know that I am running a giveaway for 2 copies of the deluxe edition for Assassin's Creed Mirage on any platform of your choice. This could be Xbox, PlayStation, PC, whatever your heart desires. Now, all you need to do to be in with a chance to win one is, of course, like the video, comment down below your thoughts and opinions on Assassin's Creed Mirage, whether they are good or bad, I want to know. And also make sure you subscribe to the channel, not only to be entered into the giveaway, but also to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Assassin's Creed Mirage content. The game releases in 2 weeks-ish, so expect some gameplay, tips and tricks, walkthroughs, all that goodness coming very, very soon. Now, I hope you all have an amazing day, and hope to see you in the next video.